Okay, so once you've published your first campaign, you should return to a screen like this. So we're picking up right after that first video earlier of setting up your account from scratch. But you need to get back to a view like this. If your layout doesn't look like this, you might not be in expert mode. So to check, go to settings and then switch to expert mode from smart mode. You cannot switch back to smart mode once you're in expert mode, but expert mode is where I operate, anybody that has an agency operates. There's more features and benefits within expert mode, and that's where our course is going to go through and operate from. In terms of navigating the interface here, you can see where you're at by this is highlighted, and then this is a submenu within campaigns. Then you have goals, tools, so on. So we'll walk through those here in just a sec. Okay, so one thing to make you aware of is notifications up here. This is where Google Ads will update you with suggestions for improvements to your campaigns or other issues that occur, such as disapproved ads and more. In terms of recommendations that pop up here, though, I do not recommend many of the recommendations that Google makes in these notifications, or if the reps call you and they make recommendations. Often Google's recommendations benefit Google more than they benefit you. It's a case-by-case basis, but just keep that in mind. Okay, so in terms of navigating the platform, off to the left is where most of what you will need to access is. So we can see campaigns, goals, tools, billing, and admin. So click around, get comfortable, familiarize yourself with the options. If you click on campaigns, which we can do right here, you'll go to an overview screen of top-level metrics for this campaign. But let's go back to the top here, and when you're at this level, you'll see a number of different screens here. These are areas for feedback, things that Google wants to make you aware of, things that you can do to improve your campaign, and so on. But because we're not finished optimizing this campaign, we don't need to worry about what's in here right now. Also, it's not uncommon that you log in and you click on campaigns and you're looking at your data and you don't see anything. You see goose eggs. So it's not uncommon that perhaps the date range is wrong. Maybe it's prior to when you started running your ads. So if that is the case, then just change the date range. But like I said, it's not uncommon for somebody to be like, there's no data in the campaign, but it's really just typically often because the date range wasn't set correctly. Okay, so I don't spend a whole lot of time in this view from this campaign tab over here. Let's drill down onto the actual campaign level, not this dashboard level. So click on campaigns. Now we can see all the campaigns we have here. So if you have multiple campaigns, you will see them all listed here. We only have one. This is the one that we set up during the setup of the Google Ads account. Okay, so let's scroll back up to recommendations here. This will have guidance on what you can do to improve your campaign performance. Again, as I mentioned earlier, not all the recommendations are solid, but some of them are. So you're just going to have to go case by case to understand whether or not it makes sense what they're recommending. But just remember that Google's looking out for Google, so be careful about the recommendations that you do implement. Next is in the menu here is Insights and Reports, so you can click over there. Insights will give you metrics on your campaign. Auction Insights provides, right here, will provide competitive analysis data on other competitors you're running up against in this particular campaign. The next one is Search Terms. Search Terms is a very valuable tool, so make note of this one. Then we can go under Landing Pages. Landing Pages is going to list the different pages that you're sending your traffic to. So typically one ad is going to send traffic to one page, but maybe you have multiple campaigns, multiple ad groups, and you're sending traffic to different pages. In here is where you will get feedback from Google on your landing page performance, which is an important component to running ad. Okay, next up in this is going to be goals. You can click on that. All you really need here is conversions, and likely you won't ever go back to here, but we'll go through how to set up conversions in another video. Next up is tools, so let's click on tools. There are two important areas here, planning and the free keyword tools. For keyword research, you will use the keyword planner, and I have another video just on keyword research, so I won't go into detail here. The next area within here is the shared library and then audience manager. So here's shared library, click that down caret, and now we're into the audience manager. This is where you can load a list of past customers for retargeting and to use as audience signals in ad targeting with your Performance Max campaign. We'll talk about Performance Max campaigns in a later video, but as far as loading lists here is concerned, you need a pretty good sized list of past customers, most likely at least 1,500 or so. Your list should have people's emails and phone numbers. Google then matches those lists to profiles. The match rate of those lists is somewhere between 50 and 80% typically, and if your matched list is smaller than 1,000, Google will not let you use it because it's too small and because of privacy concerns. So most likely you're going to need at least a 1,500 sized list, 1,500 records, because again the match rate to profiles is somewhere between 50 and 80%. So likely that will get you to a list that's 1,000 or larger. Okay, so that's all we need to know here for now. Next up is billing. So go ahead and click on that. This is where you can add or remove your credit card information, see statements on your spend, and also the important area of advertiser verification right here. Also, if Google sends you a promotion offer, you can enter that in here as well under promotions. And then finally, we're on to the admin section, and you won't need to go here often. Really, if you need to grant someone access to your Google Ads account, this is where you would do it under access and security right here. Okay, now that you've navigated around a bit and you're getting familiar with the interface, let's go back to the campaign. Click on campaigns and then scroll down to campaigns here. And there we are at the campaign interface again. So a quick word on how Google Ads is organized. At the top level are campaigns. Within campaigns are ad groups, and within ad groups are ads and keywords. Ad groups are generally organized into themes of ads and keywords. So just as an example, if you offered massage, you might have a general massage therapy ad group that would have keywords and ads that reflected that. Then perhaps maybe you have a couples massage room, you offer couples massage as well. You might have another ad group around that. Okay, so now the first thing what we're going to do is make sure our campaign settings are correct. If you don't see the campaign we set up during the account setup video, the earlier video, make sure you don't have a filter applied. Make sure this is set to all. So that's another way people will be confused inside the interface, is that perhaps there's a filter applied, but you want to make sure that's set to all, ad groups is set to all, and then you should be okay. Okay, so let's open up our campaign settings, and we have two ways to get to this. Either through the tab at the top that says settings up here, or by mousing over the campaign name and clicking on the gear icon. Let's go ahead and click on the gear icon for now. Okay, so these are all the settings that are controlled at the campaign level. I'm going to walk you through what you need to primarily be focused on. So the first thing we want to do is check on networks right here. Because this is a search campaign, we want to make sure that this is includes Google Search Partners, Search Network. We do not want display. Do not check display. Google Reps and even Google, when you set this up, they by default set display, but this is not a good idea. Display, for the most part, is a waste of money. It's more upper funnel brand awareness, not what we want. We're focused with a search campaign, bottom of the funnel lead gen. And the two networks, search and display, operate completely differently. So just make sure that's unchecked. Now, when we set this up in the account setup, we did not set a marketing objective. That's fine. We don't need it. That will pre-configure some settings and stuff, but we don't need it because I'm going to walk you through how to do this correctly. So don't worry about if there's no goal guidance. Okay, so next let's go to locations. This is going to be where geographically you are going to have your ads show. So click on this tab here, open that up, then click on Advanced Search. You'll have a map pull up. So to refine this, your geotargeting should focus on where 80% of your business comes from. For retail services, depending on how densely populated your area is, it's often somewhere between 3 to 5 miles or maybe up to 7 or 8 possibly. But if you go too far out, you'll spend money on people that aren't willing to drive there. So I would suggest starting with a 5-mile radius. Now you can type in a location, or you can click on radius and drop a pin like this. So this, when you click on this, you have this option. I don't want to go 20 miles. Let's say you can enter whatever you want. Let's say 5 miles. Click on pin mode, and then let's just drop that in there, and there's my targeting. So now Google knows that it's going to show within all these blue areas. So go ahead and click save if you're happy with that. Let's go on to languages. Okay, so English is typically the default here. Just make sure you have English. You can do Spanish if you want in our area. I often do Spanish as well. This is not a huge deal though. This is really just to help targeting for people that perhaps have set their browser language to Spanish, so the ads will still show to them. But don't worry about that. Just make sure you have English. Next up is budget. You can change your budget here to whatever you want for a daily budget. I have another video on optimal budget to reach your goals, so be sure to check that out. So I won't go into that here. You can leave it at $5 or put $20 a day. It's based on a daily budget. And then finally, bidding, we'll leave that at maximize conversions. The rest of the settings in here are all going to be fine. So we are good to go at this point. Go ahead and close this out. We'll go back to the campaign level, and that's the end of this module. Let's move on to the next one.